work is to dispel myths, to dispel common stereotypes.
I think a voice like mine that is so different can broaden the whole discourse.
There are many times repeatedly in the United States where words that can be spoken in the media and in the press can single out or make vulnerable populations appear more vulnerable. My goal is to really try to promote multiple lenses and multiple viewpoints.
It was this piece on 12 Years a Slave that I've been ruminating on for quite a while, and it came out in the Huffington Post the Friday before the Oscars, so the timing was really, really good.
I'm an anesthesiologist and I work in labor and delivery. And what I've found is that oftentimes patients will say things to providers and then it's lost in translation.
When I reflect on my own life, the opportunities that I've been afforded, the expertise that I've been able to gain, not using that public voice in a meaningful way to contribute to societal progress, that would be criminal of me.
Hi, I'm Paloma Toledo, and I'm an anesthesiologist at Northwestern, and I am an expert in racial and ethnic disparities in labor pain control.
I'm an expert in how people use the internet,
technology, and message design.
Organ donation transplantation in Hispanics.
Trauma surgery, critical care.
Women's reproductive health care.
The racial politics of reproduction.
International criminal law.
Climate change.
Breastfeeding.
And health literacy.
How can I bring this back to what I actually do want to say?
Just keep doing the thing that you think is important, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
We had a big world event of Russia annexing the Crimea, and it became an opportunity to talk about my understandings of international law. 85% or 90% of the voices that you hear are male voices, and also overwhelmingly saying, here we see yet again how international law is not effective. And my view is very different. I mean, just because there's a violation of the law doesn't mean that it's not effective.
One of the first pieces I wrote was about mandatory minimums. And that piece being published in a national forum, I think helped influence that dialogue and let the state legislators know that there were people across the nation who were watching this and were hoping that Illinois didn't expand mandatory minimums, particularly when the national trend has been to reduce those sorts of draconian laws.
One myth the public has is that people with mental disorders are disproportionately violent, prone to violence. In fact, our research has showed that people with serious mental disorders are more likely to be victims of violence, not perpetrators of violence.
80% of women enter the hospital stating themselves that they want to be able to breastfeed successfully. And unfortunately, less than 50% of them leave the hospital breastfeeding, and by 6 months, it's about 16%.
A patient who stays in the hospital and they're not technically admitted but observed cannot go on to a skilled nursing facility to get physical therapy. So I wrote this op-ed because I saw an unfairness in the way the program was set up. This is not the time to try to save money on the backs of seniors.
It's a dirty little secret. 33% of U.S. adults have basic or below basic health literacy, which means they're really not able to process health information and make appropriate decisions, not just about getting health insurance, but then about entering the system and receiving good care.
So the CEO of a company that has like some federal funding to help insurance agencies and others have more health literate friendly materials called me.
The op-ed that went on CNN was literally just notes that I sent to Michelle. And she immediately forwarded it in 3 minutes. They had taken it.
4,500 people had read it, and a lot of people from all over were commenting like, oh, I read your article, it was great.
Remember when we spoke the first day about imagine 100% success? we have like 250% success.
My op-eds have been on CNN, the Global Post, U.S. News and World Report, and the Huffington Post.
Al Jazeera America, The Atlantic, Talking Points Memo, The Daily News,
U.S. News and World Report,
The Daily Beast,
Chicago Tribune,
New York Daily News, Chicago Sun-Times, Slate, CNN, Pacific Standard, Talking Points Memo.
It is a dynamic environment. There are ideas flying around. There is energy in the room. It makes me want to just write, to express myself in a different way. It's invigorating to be here.
There are issues that I care about, that I'd like to believe that I'm very well informed about, and that I believe I can present in a thoughtful, articulate way. Does that give me a duty or an obligation? Yes, I think it does.
If I don't speak up, then how am I going to be a role model to my students? You know, when my son came and he said, "Mom, I really liked your piece in the Daily Beast," I mean, that made my day.
How just incredible and fulfilling it is to watch all of these academics who have tremendous expertise in a diversity of fields, from law to medicine to social justice, to watch them share it with the world.
And to open up the paper or click on a news site and see, oh, that's a fellow, that's someone at Northwestern. Just to be part of that sea change is really, really exciting.
Our vision is of a world where the best ideas, regardless of where they come from, will have a chance to be heard and to shape society and to change the world.